I'd like everybody to join me in a moment of silence, honoring the death of Ghazaros Kademyan, who was here 1 year ago today at this very protest. Earlier this year, Ghazaros passed away at the age of 102. He is one of the few remaining survivors of the Armenian Genocide, and it is for Ghazaros' generation and for our future generations why we fight. In 1915, April 24th was the first day of the Armenian Genocide. A day which saw hundreds of Armenian intellectuals, writers, clergy, and community leaders arrested and executed. A day which led to the deportation of our entire nation from their ancestral homelands. A day that would lead to the slaughter of over 1.5 million innocent victims. Unfortunately for humanity, the Armenian Genocide was never properly punished. This left the door wide open for merciless regimes around the world to use genocide as a political tool, comfortably believing that they, like the government of Turkey, could get away with it. We're here to say they can't get away with it. We're here to say shame on Turkey. Shame on Turkey. When struggling against an unjust enemy, first they will ignore you, then they will ridicule you, then they will fight you, and then you will win. Yeah! The 50th anniversary of the genocide in 1965, the world ignored our pleas. But Armenians finally stood up on their feet, demanding recognition. They shifted their attention from mourning those that were murdered to demanding justice, demanding the truth be told, demanding an admission of guilt from Turkey, and demanding just reparations and the return of our lands. Get your hands off our land! 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 First they will ignore you, then they will ridicule you, then they will fight you, and then you will win. There have always been those who, upon hearing about the Armenian Genocide, refer to it as ancient history, something that should be forgiven, something that should be forgotten, something that's not worth our trouble to remember. They ridiculed us, and they continue to ridicule us for bringing the world's attention to this dark chapter of human history. They ridicule us for remembering, but we will never forgive, and we will never forget. First, they will ignore you. Then they will ridicule you. Then they will fight you. And then you will win.
That's fine.
Noticing that Armenians' demands for genocide recognition and restitution were not fading away, the government of Turkey began a campaign of genocide denial. They began fighting us. They fought us, and they continue to fight us on university campuses, bribing professors to teach revised history. They fought us, and they continue to fight us to this very day in the halls of Congress and in the Senate, hiring multi-million-dollar paid lobbyists to block proper recognition of the Armenian Genocide, convincing our nation's leadership to put politics above humanity. They fight us, and they continue to fight us in the streets of Turkey, in Istanbul, where courageous voices like Hrant Dink are continually harassed, arrested, and murdered. They fight us, but we have truth on our side. Through our activism, we find ourselves in a time where just last week, Hawaii became the 42nd state in the United States to properly recognize the Armenian. We find ourselves in a time where countless nations around the world recognize our struggle. We find ourselves in a time where current genocide recognition resolution has over 100 co-sponsors in Congress. But our struggle does not begin or end with one day. Our struggle does not begin or end with this building or the cowards that work inside of it.
Let's burn it down!
Our struggle does not begin or end with any statement made by Barack Obama. Our struggle is a struggle for justice, built on the desire to bring justice to those that lost their lives, the properties that were stolen, and the land that is continually occupied. And no pathetic attempts to normalize relations between Armenia and Turkey will ever do so without properly recognizing the genocide of our people!